Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I wanted to start by letting you know that I was out of town for the holiday. I went to Destin, Florida, which I'm going to talk about today a little bit. But first, I wanted to thank Alex Cobb. I finally broke down and bought the microphone. I think it's the same one that Alex uses, but I bought it from him through his affiliate link last week. And I wanted to thank him for showing me which one to get. I've had many people complain about the quality of my sound, and so I finally broke down and got the microphone, and so I hope that it makes the difference that everybody said it would make. And so please let me know your feedback on that. Well, I also wanted to mention one other thing. Over the weekend, it came to my attention that there was some bad guy out there that was trying to email people and was emailing and sending messages on Twitter, trying to pretend like he was me to try to get some of you to give him money, or he was pitching some kind of investment. And so I wanted to let you know that I will never email you. I'm not going to email anybody asking them to invest in anything. I tell you over and over, I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I will not email you, and I will not send you Twitter messages asking you to give me money, digital currency, or anything else, and I'm not going to be emailing you to tell you about an investment program I have or anything like that. And so it's a scam if you see anything like that from someone saying they're the digital asset investor. There's only two places that you're going to see me comment on anything. You'll either hear it on a video on YouTube, or I will post on Twitter, and that's at Digital Asset Buy is my handle on Twitter. And so if it's not to those two things, it's not me. Now, there is one exception, is that if you email me, and my email address is digitalassetinvestor2018@gmail.com. If you email me, sometimes I get overloaded with them, but sometimes I'll reply. But if you send me links, I'm not clicking on any links because that's dangerous. So, anyway, I wanted to start. I was inspired this weekend. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I saw in a few minutes. But first, there were some interesting news articles that came out. I'm having to get used to having these earphones in my ear as I talk because this new microphone required it. And so this may take me a few goes to perfect this. First, this is a guy, I'm going to give him credit, at DIEPSANH, Stephen Deep, I guess. He posted this, and it was a video, and he also posted a video having to do with the article I'm going to show you in a minute. But this is a video where yet another Ripple executive says we're going live with xRapid in this year. So that's important because for those of you that don't know, xRapid is Ripple's product that uses XRP for liquidity. And so when they say they're going live with xRapid, they're telling you that they're going to go live using XRP. And so that's important. Every time I see someone, whether it's a company or an executive at Ripple, that's saying they're going to go live, I make sure and bring that to your attention. Next, this article I also found Ripple's XVIA to be integrated with smart banking platform Platio. And it says in here, great, another one of those pop-up ads. It'll go away in 1 second. But it says on the 3rd of September, it was revealed that Platio, an all-in-one smart banking platform headquartered in London, has entered into a partnership with Ripple. The revelation came after an XRP enthusiast named Leonidas posted a question to the Pladio team regarding one of their comments. So he told on Twitter, he tweeted this to them: your white paper mentions Ripple Solutions a lot. Do you have a partnership with Ripple? Will you be utilizing XRP for cross-border payments? Would love to hear more about it. And then they replied, we have a vendor agreement with Ripple. We will be integrating with Ripple's XVIA feature to transmit payments. And so that's yet another company that's using Ripple products. And they've talked, I believe this past week or two, they've talked about integrating all of their products together, and I can't remember what they called it, but xVIA, xRapid, and xCurrent together and packaging them, which I think is the ultimate goal. I think eventually it will be to everyone's benefit to use XRP in all of the movement of money. They're probably waiting on some regulation issues country by country for parts of that. Okay, next, and this one's big. This is one of the things that guy tweeted that I mentioned a minute ago. Fifth largest bank in the world, Mitsubishi UFG, explains how using Ripple saves time and money. And if you go down and this is fascinating. This is from the bank, okay? And they say today, for many of us, we may have to go through SWIFT and encounter charges. Many intermediary banks are part of that. And typically, an SLA for fund transfer or movement is between 1 and 3 days. Does that sound like anything we've said before here? Using technology such as Ripple, we can get that down to something like 30 seconds, which is significantly different and at a cheaper cost as well in terms of moving money between our branches, between our different countries within our network. That's really important to us. You think? Ripple is one of the solutions that we're concentrating. Not the only one, but one that works. And so, but this is his tweet of the actual video if you wanted to go and check out the video. So anyway, that is pretty darn huge, because once these banks realize the money they can save, they're going to use the XRP product. They're going to use xRapid as well. It's just a matter of time. Okay, here's one of those articles I like to show you where you see guys leaving the traditional investment business to go to crypto. This is about two former Deutsche Bank and Santander managers, and they've gone to form a ledger technology company. Now, why do you think that a guy who's a banker, or some guys that are bankers and in traditional finance, would think that it is a smart move to leave their jobs behind and go into crypto-related industry? I think I know, and I think you know. All right, next. I wanted to, now, as I mentioned, I went to Destin this weekend, and I was talking to the people that I was with, and the subject of Destin real estate, as well as real estate where we're from, came up. And what I found out, and what I've been hearing recently, and I've been hearing this about anywhere from Georgia to Panama City, Florida, to now Destin, Florida. What I keep hearing is that there are not any sellers. Okay, in other words, people are sitting on their real estate, and the values, I assume, have been increasing. Well, when you start hearing that there's no sellers, that is an indication that you're at about the top of a market. Now, I talk to you a lot on here about the economy and what's about to happen, in my opinion. And so I looked this up just to see if I could dig a little deeper into the real estate markets. This article came up. It's a disturbing trend. The rate of foreclosure starts in South Florida has spiked. And it says here, the report, which tracked foreclosure filings issued by county governments on single-family homes and condos, shows 1 in every 1,180 housing units in Florida, a 35% increase year over year, was subjected to a lis pendens, which is a filing by a bank warning of pending foreclosure activity due to late payment. So I'm starting to see flashing signs. So I was looking around this today, and this article popped out, and this was today on CNBC. JP Morgan's top quant warns next crisis to have flash crashes and social unrest not seen in 50 years. Okay, and I've told you this before, but don't you think for 1 second that JP Morgan and all of the investment banks do not know that for the last 10 years, we have had one big mirage of a healthy economy. We've had more money printing, more debt taken on. I've said this several times. With more bad things that are irresponsible monetary things. QE 1, 2, 3, 4, bailouts, you name it, they've done it. It makes zero economic sense. It would be, and I've used this example, maybe not on here before, but I've told my wife in the past, imagine that you as a homeowner with a mortgage and credit card debt and just the basic things, imagine that you lose your job and all of a sudden, let's say you were making $50,000 and now you're making $0. And let's say that you turned to your wife and you said, well, we're having some problems. Our credit card debt's gone up. We've got this mortgage. We now have no income. I'm looking for a job and I'll probably find one, but maybe not. We'll see. But I think it would be a great idea if we max out our credit cards and use our credit cards even more. And let's just spend even more money than we used to spend. And then maybe that'll fix problems. Well, that's the equivalent of what the governments of the world have done over the last 10 years. They have put everybody more. I'm not going to get so far deep into that. But the reason I say all that before mentioning this article is that this is apparently one of JP Morgan's top analysts. And what he's saying here, he said, just listen to this. He says central banks will be forced to make unprecedented moves, including direct purchases of equities, and there could even be negative income taxes. Timing of when the next crisis will occur is uncertain, but markets appear to be safe through the first half of 2019. And what he says here, he says he's predicting a great liquidity crisis, that it'll hit the financial markets and there will be flash crashes in stock prices and there will be social unrest. I mean, some of the things he says in this article, like here, they are very sharp, rapid declines in asset values with sharp increases in market volatility. If you have these liquidity-driven sharp sell-offs at the end of the cycle, he's calling it the end of a cycle. It's not the end of a cycle. It's the end of a 10 years of irresponsible finance is what it is. But they're going to refer to it in these kind of terms to give themselves cover. And then he's calling it the great liquidity crisis that's coming. And so now here's one other part of this I want to read. Suddenly, every pension fund in the U.S. is severely underfunded. Retail investors panic and sell while individuals stop spending. If you have this type of severe crisis, how do you break the vicious cycle, the negative feedback loop? Maybe you stimulate the economy by cutting taxes further, perhaps even into negative territory. I think most likely is direct central bank intervention in asset prices, maybe bonds, maybe credit, and perhaps equities if that's the eye of the storm. Well, I'm here to tell you, when the central bank gets involved, just like they have for the last 10 years, they're not going to do anything that's good for you. They're going to put you in more debt. They're going to print more money. And ultimately, they're coming to you. That's how this game works. Whether it's a bail out, bail in, whatever you want to call it, that's where this ends. And guess who is going to benefit in who benefits when you devalue money, which is what all this means, devalue fiat currencies. The beneficiaries traditionally are gold and silver. I've said it 1,000 times. In this scenario, you have the perfect storm for digital assets because digital assets are deflationary. XRP is deflationary. And so we all will be sitting in a deflationary asset. And when people hit the exits, which is what this article is saying they will be doing, when they hit the exits, they may some of it may go to gold and silver. That's very possible, and it will happen. And that's not a dumb move. It's a smart move. But right at the time that this is going to all hit is going to be in the middle of what's going to be a digital asset boom anyway. And even more money is going to come in. And I believe that this will be the largest portion of the money that's coming in. And nobody sees it coming, but this is going to be it. All right, next. I wanted to show you this tweet. Now, remember, on Friday, I did a video in response. I wasn't just doing a video fluffing up, trying to make a huge prediction of XRP's price. I did that video saying that XRP and Ripple would be bigger than Amazon by 2023. The reason I did it was in response to those morons that said that Ripple would go down to 1 penny. And I meant it, because once you cross, say, $25 XRP, it is going to be worth more than Amazon. But what I wanted to mention is, I wanted to show you, this is a tweet from the Binance CEO, the founder of Binance, okay? And he says, I have a feeling the first $10 trillion company may be a crypto one. And he's posting an article about Amazon crossing the $1 trillion mark. So I must not be too far off. Okay, I want to show you guys, every once in a while I show you the Ledger Blue, or the Ledger Nano S, but a lot of you have never seen the Ledger Blue, so I like to show you this. In the description of all of my videos, if you click on the Ledger link, it will take you straight to Ledger's website, and you can not just the Ledger Nano S, but you can get the Ledger Blue, which is more like having an iPad to store your crypto currencies, and it's a little more pricey, but you can get it as well. Okay, I mentioned to you that I had been in Destin this weekend. Okay, what I wanted to talk about is, all of you for years have seen any of you that go to the beach, when you're sitting on the beach, you see this airplane that flies down the beach, and they're advertising something. Well, I've seen this since I was a kid. They'll put an airplane up and they're dragging behind it an advertisement to go eat at a restaurant that's at that beach resort or whatever. So I'm sitting on the beach, and all of a sudden, and I think it was this exact boat right here, all of a sudden this boat comes by and it's got a digital billboard on the back of the boat. And I saw this digital billboard, and the people that I was with pointed to it and they said, see, this is how they're advertising now. And when I saw it, I immediately said to myself, I've never ever even thought of that concept in all the times that I've watched those airplanes fly down the beach and thought that those were really a good idea of advertising. I have never ever, it's never even dawned on me that you could put that on a boat, and it's probably cheaper, and put a digital billboard, and the boat just goes back and forth. Well, I think that the parallel between this and digital assets is so obvious to me, because my point in telling you this is that 99% of the population is just like me, and they would not have, this idea has never dawned on them. And I saw this going down the beach, and so I thought, well, let's take a look and see how many people are owners of XRP today. So I looked around, I found this article, how many Americans really own crypto? And I went down, and they had a little chart. There's this is in the United States, 5.15% of the people own Bitcoin. 0.85% of the population owns Ripple, okay? And my point in telling you all of this is that you and I, it's kind of like we came up with the idea or saw that would be a great idea for that boat to do that digital advertising. We're literally on the boat. I mean, but I'm saying this to illustrate the point to you that that's how far ahead of the population that you all are as Ripple holders, as XRP holders. You are literally sitting there in your investment waiting for 99% of the population to come join the party. And when they join the party, you're going to have it made. We're going to have it made. And so I wanted to part with that because I thought that it was a pretty interesting analogy. Before I go, I wanted to tell you that I'll see you in Liechtenstein. You can go in the description of my video and you can also get one of these t-shirts. And I also want to mention to you that I am not an investment advisor. And I want you, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm the digital asset investor. And please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button as much as you can. And I really appreciate y'all watching.